Thank you so much for joining the conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, all glory Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj's my humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Ghana.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call regularly and giving your valuable association. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all Vaishnava. Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai, Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to Assembled devotees. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. Yashamati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji. This is Kamadati Dasi from Baltimore. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Kamadiki Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Mataji, for giving your valuable association regularly in this class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharajas, and all glories to the assembled devotees. This is Tiffany in Pennsylvania. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Tiffany Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees on the call. This is Harita from Houston, Texas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nita Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Bhagavad.
Hare Krishna, Induleka Karuna Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna. Okay, I welcome all of you. Thank you everyone for joining today's Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we'll be fortunate to have His Grace Gaurvilas Prabhu to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam from 6.9.34 onwards. Before I hand over the call to Prabhuji, I would like to hand over the call to Tiffany Mataji to give a brief introduction. Hare Krishna. Over to you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Today, we are so fortunate to have His Grace Gaurvilas Prabhuji on our call. He's such a wonderful addition to our morning lineup now. Prabhuji came to Krishna consciousness in 2004, and he earned an MBBS degree from Grant Medical College. Gaurvilas Prabhuji joined the ashram in 2010, and he was initiated as a disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami in 2012. Prabhuji preaches in various medical and engineering colleges. He also conducts programs for doctors at Bhaktivedanta Hospital and in corporate environments. He is a teacher of Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhav courses. He also conducts congregational programs in Mumbai and Maharashtra. Gaurvilas Prabhuji has done thorough studies of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. So happy to have you again with us today, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for that brief introduction. We are still waiting for Prabhuji to join. If anyone wants to introduce themselves, they can do.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Dhanvat
this is
Prabhu.
Krishna from Chennai. Hare Krishna. God bless Prabhupada, God bless you all the world allowing me to come and join the program. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Is the
Krishna.
voice audible?
Pranam Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, okay, I thank everyone for joining. Prabhuji is back now. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving your valuable time and association with Bhakti Sangha conference call. Please accept all of our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I hand over the call to you.
Hare Krishna.
Eagerly waiting to hear from you the enlightening class of Srimad Bhagavatam. Today's words 6.9.34. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this opportunity to serve, we'll begin with our prayers. Makyanatimirtasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone. Thank you for this opportunity to serve. So today we are discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 9, entitled this appearance of demon Vritrasur. And we are discussing the verse number 34. So this verse is in a prose format. So I'll just read the translation and the purport. O Lord, you need no support, and although you have no material body, you do not need cooperation from us. Since you are the cause of the cosmic manifestation and you supply its material ingredients without being transformed, you create, maintain, and annihilate this cosmic manifestation by yourself. Nevertheless, although you appear engaged in material activity, you are transcendental to all material qualities. Consequently, these transcendental activities of yours are extremely difficult to understand. Purport. The Brahma Samhita 5.37 says, Goloka eva nivasatya khilatma bhutaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is always situated in Goloka Vrindavan. It is also said, Vrindavanam parityajya padam ekam na gacchati. Krishna never goes even a step from Vrindavan. Can you put others to mute? Nevertheless, although Krishna is situated in his own abode, Golok Vrindavan, he is simultaneously all-pervading and is therefore present everywhere. This is very difficult for a conditioned soul to understand, but devotees can understand how Krishna, without undergoing any changes, can simultaneously be in his abode and be all-pervasive. The demigods are understood to be the various limbs of Lord's body. Although the Lord has no material body and does not need anyone's help, he is spread everywhere. Maya tadam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. Nevertheless, he is not present everywhere in his spiritual form. According to Mayavad philosophy, the supreme truth, being all pervasive, does not need a transcendental form. The Mayavadis suppose that since his form is distributed everywhere, he has no form. This is untrue. The Lord keeps his transcendental form, and at the same time he extends everywhere, in every nook and corner of material creation. Hare Krishna. So this is a very, very wonderful discussion, wonderful pastime going on in Srimad Bhagavatam, where Indra, he offended his guru Brihaspati. As a result, he lost his powers. They were defeated by the demons. Then Indra goes to Brahmaji for help. And Brahmaji tells, because you offended your guru, now you have lost your power. Because whenever great personalities are offended, 4 things go down. 6 things go down. Ayu, Shriyo, Yaso, Dharma, Lokana, Shisha Evacha, Hanti Shreyamsi Sarvani, Pumso Mahadvati Kramaha. Ayu goes down, wealth goes down, fame, beauty, opulence, and all the auspiciousness goes away, strength goes down. So he lost everything. So Brahmaji told, okay, go to Vishwarup, make him your guru. So he went to Vishwarup, and Vishwarup did tapasya, he offered oblations and made Indra powerful. As a result, Indra could defeat the demons. One day he found that Vishwarup was doing yajna, and he was putting oblations for demons and devatas both, because he was connected to both. He became very angry. He cut off the head of Vishwarup, killed him. His father Twashta became very angry. He did tapasya, he did yajna and created a demon, Vritrasur. And this Vritrasur was a very, very powerful, ferocious demon. And he started destroying all the devatas. And even Indra was getting defeated. He had nowhere to go. So therefore, he prayed to the Supreme Lord. And in this section, all the devatas, they prayed to the Supreme Lord, and Lord appeared in front of them. Now the devatas headed by Indra, they are offering their prayers. So in this verse, very wonderfully, the devatas headed by Indra, they are glorifying the qualities of the Lord. Very, very important thing we have to note here is, for devatas, it is a question of life and death. They are in a threat. But still, when Lord appears in front of them, they are finding out time to glorify the Lord. Most of the time when we go to the Lord, in front of the Lord, at least before coming to Krishna consciousness, that was the case. Whenever you go to temple, just ring the bell and offer your prayers, offer pranam and offer some donation, and then you ask whatever you want, and then you come back. Rarely we glorified the Lord for his wonderful qualities. But in the process of devotional service, it is a very, very important thing to understand the art of praying to the Lord. That is a very, very essential thing we have to learn. Because Krishna is a person, he is not an impersonal force. He is not light, he is not nature. He is a person, And as a person, he also has some feelings. He also likes to be glorified. So therefore, our acharyas, they have said there are three types of prayers: Samprarthanatmika, Dainya Bodhika, and Lal Samai. So when we go in front of the Lord, we have to first glorify the Lord for his wonderful qualities. We should not just go and ask our desires. First, we have to glorify the Lord. Samprarthanatmika, glorify the Lord for his beautiful, wonderful qualities. Then express your fallen condition, Dainya Bodhika, and then ask whatever desire we have. That is Lal Samai. This is a very consistent theme which comes in Bhagavatam. Right there in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the first set of prayers which come in Srimad Bhagavatam. When Ashwatthama shoots Brahmastra and Arjuna is completely bewildered. What to do? So then he goes to the Lord. Lord is right there standing with him on the chariot, and then he offers prayers to the Lord. Krishna, Krishna, Mahayogim. Oh Lord, you are the supreme powerful personality. Krishna, Krishna, Mahabaho, Bhaktanam, Bhayankara. Oh Lord, you create fearlessness for devotees. His life is in danger, but still if you read those prayers, there are only 6 or 7 verses there. And in 5 verses, he's glorifying the Lord. Can you imagine? His life is in danger, but still he's not forgetting the etiquette. First, glorify the Lord. However, pressing the circumstances may be, however, difficulty we may be in, we have to first, cultivate this habit of glorifying the Lord. We should not just go and ask, oh Lord, I want this. Lord is a person. Just imagine if some of your friend comes and, just directly asks, I want this, and every day he's doing the same thing. And on the other hand, if somebody comes and he glorifies you, you are such a wonderful person, you are, always helpful, charitable, you will feel, to help that person more. Lord is a person. Although he doesn't need all that, but when we do it, it is an act of gratitude. And Lord is pleased by that. So therefore, here we can see this demon, these devatas, they are in danger. Their life is in danger, but still they are finding time to offer such beautiful prayers and long, long prayers. That is culture of Krishna consciousness. That is a devotion service. However dangerous situation may be, we should not forget the etiquettes of Krishna consciousness, because these are the ornaments. Etiquettes are the ornaments. For a devotee, ornaments, we may wear tilak, kanthimala, dhoti, kurta, sari, or whatever, or we may wear some jewelry also. But etiquettes are the real ornaments a devotee should wear. There are no, there is no excuse to it. Oh, we are familiar, Sometimes people say, Arey, we are very close friends. I don't need to be formal. And they say, no, because the more we are informal, we'll be close. But in Krishna consciousness, we have to observe all the etiquettes, however close we may be in. At the same time, we have to be careful not to be, offensive, because familiarity breeds contempt many times. But familiarity breeds contempt when Krishna is not in center. When I am in the center, then it will create contempt. So therefore, in devotional service, in association of devotees, we have to be respectful and we have to be friendly. So therefore, all these devatas, they are glorifying beautifully. And in this verse, they are saying, oh Lord, you need no support. Beautifully, this is a very standard theme of prayers where Lord is glorified to be the creator, maintainer, and destroyer of the universe. You need no support. So Lord is compared many times with spider. Although, it is an insult to the Lord to compare him with the spider. But because we can only relate to the material things of the world, so therefore, the examples are given of this material world. What is the peculiarity of a spider? Spider creates web with its own energy. Doesn't depend on anyone else. His own saliva creates, maintains the web with its own energy, and then winds it up. Any of you have seen spider winding up its own web? That is a wonderful sight to see. Urnanabhi ivaklamaha. That's what Narad Muni tells Brahmaji. Oh Brahmaji, I think you are the creator, you are the supreme, because you are doing everything. You are creating, you are maintaining, and you are destroying. You have kept everything in your hand like a amalaki fruit. I think you are like a spider. Urnanabhi ivaklamaha. So devatas are saying you need no support. You are independent living entity. And you have no material body. Interestingly, Lord has a body, but not material. Prabhupada describes in the purport that, Mayavadis, they say you have no material body, that means you don't have any body. No. Lord has a wonderful potency which is called as Virodha Bhanjika Shakti. All the contradictory things are reconciled in Krishna. Just like Ishopanishad says, Tadejati, Tannejati, Tadadure, Tadavantike, Tadantarasya Sarvasya, Tadu Sarvasyasya Bahyataha. The verse itself looks very Upanishadic verse. What does it say? Tadejati, he walks, he doesn't walk. He's far, he's near. He's inside of everyone, he's outside of everyone. How is it possible? That is how Lord works. Yes, inconceivable potency which can reconcile everything contradictory. Uddhavji, when he is asked by Vidurji, please tell me about Krishna. He starts recalling, Uddhava starts recalling all the beautiful pastimes of the Lord, starting from the birth. And then at one point he says, I am really amazed and bewildered how Lord would ask me. He would take my opinion. He would take my advice. What is the need for the Lord to ask me? But Lord would ask me, oh Uddhava, what should I do now? Is it right to go to Rajasuya Yagya, or should I go and protect the kings who are captured by Jarasandha? Lord was asking me. It was so very amazing. Karmanyani hasya bhavo bhavasya te durga shrayothari bhayat palayanam kalatmano yat pramadayutashrama swatman rate khidyati dhir vidamiha. He's saying, the Lord is so inconceivable. Even great people get bewildered. Khidyati dhir vidamiha. Khidyati means bewildered. Even sober person get bewildered because he has nothing to do. Still he is working. He is protecting Pandavas. He is guarding them. He is becoming chariot driver. He is unborn. Bhavo abhavasya. He takes birth. Arey, fear personified fears him. Yad bibheti swayam bhayam. And he is running fear of Jarasandha and Kalayavan. And he takes shelter of a fort in the middle of the ocean because of that fear. It is so very confusing and bewildering. He is self-satisfied, he is Atmaram, but he marries 16,000 princesses. How is this possible? That is how Krishna is. Nothing, material can understand Krishna, because Krishna is all spiritual. And to understand spiritual, we have to get mercy of the Lord. Unless we get mercy of the Lord, we cannot understand Krishna. We cannot understand devotional service. Athapi te deva padambujadvaya prasadaleshanugrihita evahi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno na chanya ekopi chiram vichinvan. Brahmaji is praying, oh my Lord, unless somebody gets a drop of your mercy, he cannot understand you, even if he tries for millions of lifetimes. na cha anya ekopi chiram vichinvan. So all the process of devotional service is only for this end, to get mercy of the Lord. Whatever we are doing, our chanting, our Bhagavad Shravan, our Dham Darshan, deity worship, whatever we are doing is only to get mercy of the Lord. We have to show to the Lord that I actually want it. In the beginning of our spiritual practices, while chanting, we would chant because ठीक है अभी इतना बोले हैं, we have heard so much. ठीक है, I will chant. In Hindi, karna padta hai, I have to chant, right? Because I have heard so much. Then we progress when we start chanting, and then we come to the second stage. I want to chant. Second stage, I want to chant. I want to chant. Not that I have to chant, I want to chant. And then third, as we purify ourselves more, we come to the third stage. I like to chant. So that's how the whole process of Krishna consciousness is to reach this third stage. I like to chant. That is the process of Krishna consciousness, where we develop spontaneous attraction for holy names of the Lord. At present, it is very, very bitter, right? Like a bitter Karela juice. Although Krishna consciousness is like nectar, but for us, it may be like a very, very bitter medicine, because our tongue is covered with jaundice, bilious secretions, as Upadeshamrita describes. Syat Krishna nama charitapi sitapya vidya pittopatapta rasanasya narochikanu kentvadarādanu dinam khalu seva jushta smadvi kramad bhavati tadgadmula hantri. Krishna nama charitra, they are so very nectarine. But because avidya, the disease of avidya is there, so therefore pitta uptapta rasanasya narochikano, the tongue which is covered with bile secretions cannot taste sugarcane juice also. Kintvadarādanu dinam khalu seva jushta, but regularly, consistently, if we keep drinking this nectar, swadvi kramad bhavati, the taste will rise. That is the whole process of Krishna consciousness. That's what we are endeavoring for. So that we can also develop some taste. So therefore, Devatas are saying, you are the cause of cosmic manifestation. You supply ingredients. Aham sarvasya prabhavo, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Chatushloki Bhagavatam, Krishna says that to Brahmaji, Aham eva sameva agre. In the beginning, I was there. I am the cause. Nanyad yat sadasat param paschadaham yadetaccha yo avashishyet swasmiham. In the beginning, I was there. In the middle, I am the only one who has created everything, and after everything will be destroyed, I will still remain. So therefore, Devatas are saying, you are the cause. And you supply the ingredients. In the second canto, Brahmaji is telling to Narad Muni. Actually, he speaks a very wonderful thing. He says, actually, I have seen personally with my own eyes how Lord is the source of everything. I have not just heard. For us, it is a theoretical thing, right? We have just heard from the scriptures. But Brahmaji has personally seen that Garbho Dakshai Vishnu, from his body, everything is coming up. We have heard three types of praman: Pratyaksha, Shabda, Anuman. And we have heard that Shabda Praman is the best way to start getting knowledge. Because that is the point we can begin very nicely. But our acharyas describe that ultimately Pratyaksha gives faith. When we see something with our own senses, because that is our common understanding, right? When we see something with our own senses, that makes our faith very strong. All our process of Krishna consciousness, all the Shabda we are hearing, it is only for one purpose, to realize Krishna, right? To experience Krishna. Otherwise, if it just remains theory, it will not touch the heart. We have to realize Krishna. That means perceive Krishna with our senses, purified senses, not our material senses. Our material senses cannot see Krishna. Spiritualized senses can see Krishna. Sevon mukhehi jihva adav swayam eva svratyadaha. So bhakti begins with utilizing our tongue in service of the Lord, and slowly the senses will be purified and we can experience Krishna. If you're not experiencing Krishna, then bhakti will become very dry. So, whole process of Krishna consciousness is about experience. Whatever we are doing is to get wonderful experience in Krishna consciousness, right? Because experience sustains devotees' lives. Whatever we do, all of us have this understanding, experience. Whenever we go to yatras or in some festivals in the temple, what do we remember? Do we remember the lectures in detail? What do we say generally? We say it was a good experience, maza aa gaya. It was a good experience, right? Because good experience sustains us. So therefore, experience, pratyaksha, is actually, that is what is called as realization. So therefore, we have to understand that when we hear such descriptions of devatas glorifying the Lord as creator, maintainer, destroyer, actually, they have realized it. And for us, okay, it is a theoretical fact, okay, but actually it is the case. Bhakti susukham kartum abhyayam, it is actually the case. Actually, it is, source of bliss. But for us, it is theoretical many times. So therefore, we have to understand, ultimately, pratyaksha is the highest praman, because, unless we realize whatever we have heard, it is of no use. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam susukham kartum abhyam. Pratyaksha, you can realize Krishna personally with your own eyes and senses. Otherwise, bhakti in Krishna consciousness, we get lots of information, right? There is no dearth of information. We have downloaded so much of information. But when we actually realize it, realization hits us. That's a different experience. It is like a eureka moment. Oh, I have heard this many times. Aaj samajh gaya, We must have experienced this, right? Sometime or other. Today I actually understood it. Today I experienced it. So therefore, when we see scriptures in action, then our faith becomes strong. So ultimately, whatever we have heard should, manifest in front as pratyaksha. Pratyaksha is a very, very important way to realize Krishna, and that will give us faith in Shabda, because ultimately Shabda is the most powerful way from where we can get knowledge about Krishna, right? There is no other way we can get knowledge about Krishna, only scriptures. Our faith in Shabda becomes strong when we see things happening in front of us as described in scriptures, right? So therefore Shabda is there to get ultimate praman of pratyaksha. In first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a beautiful description. Bhishma Dev, he is about to leave his body. Krishna takes all the Pandavas to Bhishma Dev. And when they reach there, they see that big, sages from all over the universe, they have come. Wonderful description is given. Who has assembled there? They were not ordinary people. Whatever names we hear in the scriptures, they all were there. big people, big sages, So the list goes on, Atri, Chyavan, Parshuram, Vashishta, Parashar, Bhrigu, Bhardavaj, Narada, Vyas. They're all self-realized souls. They're all liberated souls. Why they assembled when Bhishma is departing? Interestingly, when Parikshit is about to depart, right? When Parikshit was cursed, same set of sages, almost similar names come there also. And, in the 10th canto again, when Krishna, goes to meet Shrutadev and Bahulashva, he takes all the sages with him. Same sages are again there. Atri, Vyas, Narada, Parshuram, Asita, Maitreya, Chavan. Can you imagine the coincidence? Why all these people, they are always there? They are all liberated souls, right? They don't have to go anywhere to realize Krishna. They are always with Krishna. Why they assemble to such places? Just to experience the process of devotional service, because there is no end to increase our faith. There is some disturbance, so if you can mute others, it will be great. So they all assemble just for one thing, to experience the joy of Krishna consciousness, to experience a devotee departing from this world. That's a different energy altogether. So all these big rishis, they are, the verse comes, Atra Brahmarshayas Sarve. They are all Brahma rishis. That means they have realized Krishna. Devarshayascha Sattama, Rajarshayascha, Brahma rishi, Deva rishi, Raja rishi. Everybody has assembled there. Why? To experience the power of devotional service. So ultimately, Krishna consciousness is all about getting good experiences. Those good experiences sustain our lives. We should write down our experiences. Whatever good experiences, we should write down. Because there will be times when we will be low in our devotional service, low in our, mood. That time, if we read those experiences, it will give us a boost. Now, basically, to experience the joy of bhakti, Krishna himself comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, Gaur Purnima is, also coming. So we have to understand that Krishna also comes to experience the joy of bhakti. What Radharani is experiencing, what gopis are experiencing in serving me. Shri Radhaya pranaya mahima kidrisho va nayaiva swadyo yenadbhutamadirima kidrisho va madiya saukyam chasya madanubhavataha kidrisho veti lobhat tadbhavadya samajane shachi garbha sindhau harindau. The three internal reasons for appearance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shri Radhaya pranaya mahima, to glorify Radharani's love. Second, swadyo yenadbhuta madhurma. What is there in me which these gopis are experiencing? I want to experience that. What is my, quality? And saukhyam chasya madanubhavataha. What is the happiness which Radharani is experiencing? I want to realize that. I want to experience that. So, all the great devotees up to Lord Krishna wants to experience the joy. So therefore, we have to understand, everything in spiritual world is sentient. Prabhupada always tells everything in spiritual world is chinmay. It is spiritual. It is conscious. One of the Prabhupada disciples, Smara Hari Prabhu, he recalls that, one time Srila Prabhupada was giving a class and he would give wonderful examples to illustrate spiritual world. So to explain what is spiritual world, how in spiritual world everything is conscious. So Prabhupada gave an example. He said, well, one time Srimati Radharani is cooking rice. In spiritual world, everything is conscious. So after some time Radharani asks the rice, okay, are you ready yet? So the rice says, no, not yet. Please give me a few minutes. So Chinmay, Prabhupada would give wonderful examples. So it is all about experiencing spiritual world in this material world. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, we all see that all the devotees of the Lord, they come together to experience the joy of bhakti. So therefore, we have to understand that when we experience the joy of Krishna consciousness, then we will survive. We will stay. When things, go wrong in our lives, we will not be disturbed and bewildered. Because the more we, imbibe those experiences, relish those experiences, we will become very steady devotee. Because ultimately, Krishna consciousness means it takes one beyond all misconceptions. Even at the time of death, there are no misconceptions for a devotee. Na uttama shloka vartanam jushatam tat kathamritam syat sambhramavanta kalepi smaratam tad padambujam. Na uttama shloka vartanam jushatam. Anybody who is engaging in the devotional service, hearing the pastimes of Lord Uttama Shloka, na syat sambhrama. He will never have misconceptions. Antakalepi. Even at the time of death. No misconceptions, because he has experienced so much of joy in Krishna consciousness. The pains of death doesn't trouble a devotee, because already he has experienced the joy and he's just waiting for, leave the body and go there. So that's how, the experiences sustain us. And all the leaders and all the acharyas, all the great devotees, they make so many arrangements so that we can come and we can experience Krishna consciousness. And that's why, all these online classes or offline classes or festivals or the yatras, why? Just to experience Krishna, to experience the energy of Krishna consciousness. Because it is a wonderful way to connect to Krishna. And many of the Srila Prabhupada disciples, they remember the experiences they had with Srila Prabhupada. And, those experiences sustain them. And for Prabhupada disciples, one time Bhavanand Prabhu was talking to one devotee. And he was asking, do you know Krishna? So this is a very, very, bewildering and confusing question. Do you know Krishna? So he said, yes, Prabhuji, I have heard about Krishna. I have read about Krishna. I think I know a little bit, in this humble state. He was also another devotee, was also a very senior devotee in the congregation, a leader. So Bhavanand Prabhu said, well, you are fortunate. As far as I am concerned, I know only Prabhupada. I don't know Krishna. I have experienced the association of Prabhupada, and therefore I have hope that he will take me. That is how, we have to understand that association with great souls, association with spiritual master, the experience to be with devotees, that gives us the boost to practice Krishna consciousness. And that's why Srila Prabhupada would do so much hard work. Prabhupada would tell, one time he was telling that, when I travel in airplanes, because of the pressure inside, I, have lots of knee pains, but I don't tell anyone, because that is a mission. I have to give this knowledge to everyone. One time there was a Sri Vaishnava Acharya, Sampat Kumar Bhattacharya, very great devotee in Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, very, very favorable. He was helping Prabhupada in installing deities in Hyderabad. And he was good friends with Prabhupada. So then after that, Prabhupada, he came back to Mumbai and Juhu. And the devotees, they had made a deity of Prabhupada. And they wanted to install deities of Prabhupada all over the world. Prabhupada was still living. So when this, Sri Vaishnava devotee, Sampat Kumar Bhattacharya, he came to know that he was really anxious. He flew all the way from Hyderabad to Mumbai. He came as soon as possible and met Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, Swamiji, you should not allow your disciples to install your deities while you are living. You know what will happen? All the people from all over the world, they'll come and they will bow down to you. They'll touch your feet, in the deity form, and they'll give all their karma to you. And you'll have to suffer so much. It is not recommended. Prabhupada heard him, paused for some time and said, actually, that's why I have come here for. So when he heard this, he was really, shocked. So he understood that Prabhupada is really a great devotee. He's a pure devotee of the Lord who has come to just deliver Krishna to everyone. He circumambulated Prabhupada and left. So all these great devotees, Prabhupada and all the Acharyas, Vartaman Acharya Vrinda, why they are working so much? To give us a good experience, right? Because it is not easy to manage devotees. So it is how we have to understand that whenever we get good experience, please note it down, write it down. They are our real treasures. Experiences are real treasures. Because in difficult times, these good experiences will sustain us. One devotee, one Srila Prabhupada disciple, Narad Muni Prabhu, he was recalling that, one time Srila Prabhupada once was asked the process for the disciple, how the disciple goes back to Godhead. Prabhupada said, well, spiritual master has purchased your ticket. And if you want to board the train to go to the spiritual world, you have to just show your ticket. And Prabhupada said, I have taken your ticket, I have purchased your ticket. You have to just, get on board and stay on the train till the time destination doesn't come. Just stay there. So Srila Prabhupada has given us this process of Krishna consciousness, chanting of the names of the Lord. That is our ticket. We have to just stay on board. And all these experiences, they'll give us faith to keep the ticket with us, because the job of Maya Devi is to just, take that ticket from us. Maya Devi will say, oh, this ticket, doesn't work. It is a fake ticket. I'll give you another one. Please give that. So that's how, the whole process of hearing every day, reading, serving, it is only for one thing, to increase our faith, to keep that ticket. Otherwise, the material forces are working, testing us, testing our, determination, testing our desires. That is job. That is thankless job Maya Devi is doing to test us. Because unless we are tested, we don't become serious, right? We all have experience in the schools and colleges. Unless exams come, we don't take studies seriously. Maya Devi is doing a thankless job of testing us. And sometimes devotees may slip, may fall, but the devotees don't fall down like Mayavadis, like impersonalists. Tatha nate madhava tavaka kvachit bhrashyanti marga tvai baddha saurida tvaya vigupta vicharena nirbhaya vinayikani kapamurdha suprabho. In the verse previous to that is Aruhya krichrena param padam tata patantiyadha. Even Brahmavadis, they go to Brahman, they fall down. Because in Brahman, there is no happiness and satisfaction. Devotees may also fall down because of their conditionings. Tatha nate madhava tavaka kochit. The devotees of the Madhava, they don't fall down like others. Bhrashyanti, they may get deviated, but tvai baddha saurida, because they are very, closely attached to you. Tvaya bhigupta vicharena nirbhaya, they fearlessly, cross over death. They may fall down. As devotees, we will fall down for sure because of our conditionings. It will happen for sure. Sometime or other, we will fall down. But we don't have to stay fallen. You have to again get up and walk. Falling down is not a problem, but to stay fallen is a problem. Get up and walk again. Krishna is waiting to see that. Otherwise, if, just like in the boxing match, the opponent is considered defeated only when he refuses to get up. So therefore, we have to get up again, remembering our good experiences, remembering whatever we have heard and learned and we have seen in Krishna consciousness. How devotees don't fall down like others? There are two reasons, Bhagavatam gives. The devotees, they don't fall down because the good experiences of Krishna consciousness haunts them in good sense. Krishna himself says, Narad Muni is telling to Vyasdev, first canto it comes, 5th chapter. Navai jano jatu kathanchana brajen mukunda sevyanyavadanga samsritim smarana mukundangri upaguhanam puna vihatumichena narasa graho janah. Navai jano jatu, the devotees of the Lord, they may fall down. Mukunda sevyanyavadanga samsritim, but they give up the service to Mukunda, they go away to do sense gratification, but then what will happen? It is the experience of every devotee. All of us can vouch for it. At least in the beginning days, it happens when we are not so steady in Krishna consciousness. And we are practicing, and then we go and do some sense gratification. What happens? We remember, oh my God, devotees generally say, Prabhuji, kuch yaad nahi rehta hai. I don't remember any lecture. Itna sara kuch bataya, nothing is there in my mind. I just try doing some sense gratification. Everything will come to the mind. Sab yaad aayega, with amplified voice, it will, ring in the ears. Smarana mukundangri upaguhanam punah. Again and again, the devotee will remember the good experiences. He'll be haunted by the good experiences. Rasagraho jana, rasagraha. Just like a person who is haunted by ghost, devotees haunted by the good experiences of Krishna consciousness. Rasagraha. Rasa means the pleasures. That is like a graha. Vihatumichen. Now he cannot give it up. Rasagraho jana. Haunted by the rasa of good experiences. It is described about Prahlad Maharaj. He was, the verse says, Nyasta kridanako balo jadavattan manastaya Krishna graha grihitatma naveda jagadidrisham. Prahlad, as a small child, he was oblivious of the world because he was haunted by Krishna graha. Some people are haunted by Shani graha, Rahu, Shani, Ketu. We all hear all these things in astrology. A devotee is haunted by Krishna graha. And a person is haunted by Krishna graha, all the other grahas, they have, if you do some puja, uska solution hai. But the person who is haunted by Krishna graha, no solution, nothing works. Gone case. Nothing can happen, nothing can cure a devotee who is haunted by Krishna graha. That is what we want. And a person who is haunted by Krishna graha, who is possessed by Krishna graha, what happens to him? Evam vrata swa priyanama kirtya jata nurago druta chitta uchchai hasatyatharo datirauti gayan unmadvan nrityati loka bahya. He sometimes, evam vrata swa priyanam, he chants the name of his dearmost, Krishna. Uchchay raudati, uchchay gayati, uchchay kirtayati. Sometimes he chants loudly, sometimes he cries loudly, sometimes he dances, sometimes he laughs very loudly. Nirlokabhaya, doesn't care about others. A person who is haunted by ghost, he is not in his own control. A devotee who is possessed by Krishna, he is not in his control. He's controlled by Krishna Graha. And that is the best Graha to be controlled by. So the more we remember the good experiences, we'll stay in Krishna consciousness even during difficult times. And second reason why devotees, they don't fall down like others, because Krishna forcibly engages a devotee in his service. In Nectar of Instruction, Prabhupada writes a beautiful, amazing line. Devotional service is so pure and so perfect that once having begun, one is forcibly dragged to success. Even if devotee doesn't want to become successful, Krishna will drag him. Sometime back, a cartoon was getting circulated that there was a devotee and Krishna is dragging that devotee, taking him to Golok, and the path is very painful. The path of bhakti is not so easy, right? It is many times it is painful. So this devotee is saying, please leave me. I don't want to practice. I don't want to go back. It is so very painful. Krishna says, who started the process, right? Now you cannot go. You started it. I will make you pure, forcibly dragged to success. That is the beautiful nature of Krishna consciousness. Even if we don't want it, Krishna will forcibly bring us under his shelter. Krishna kahe ama bhaje mage vishaya sukh, amrit chhadi vish mage ei bada murkh, ami vigya ei murkha vishay ke na diba, swacharnamrit diya vishay bhulaiba. Kaviraj Goswami is beautifully describing. If a devotee takes to Krishna consciousness and he thinks, oh, it is too much, I want to go back, I want to enjoy some material life, Krishna will not leave us. Actually, after we have come and heard Krishna Katha and practiced it for some time, actually our material life is now gone. We cannot enjoy. I'm sorry to say that. We cannot enjoy in this world now. Because the moment we try to enjoy, all the lectures go on in the years, we cannot enjoy. We'll be guilty of enjoying. That's how it is, a one-way process. We cannot go back. Better do it very nicely and experience the wonderful joy of bhakti, because the material pleasures are insignificant. Just like Prahlad Maharaj is saying that, oh my Lord, after I've experienced the joy of devotional service, the joy of Brahmananda is insignificant. What to speak of the joy of Swargalok, and these material pleasures of this world is nowhere in the question. Dhruva is praying, sorry. Ya nirvritestanu tava pada padma dhyanat bhavajjana katha shravanena vasyat sa brahmani sumahimanya pinatama bhut kim tvantakasi lulita patatam vimanat. Nirvriti means happiness. The happiness which I am experiencing in your katha, your association of your devotees, it is unimaginable. So therefore, once we have experienced joy of Krishna consciousness, we cannot enjoy the things of the world. And even if because of our conditionings, our mind pushes us to do something material, we will not be able to relish. It is a one way. As it is said, entering Krishna consciousness is entering underworld. A person who has entered underworld mafia and then he has stayed for some time and then he thinks, oh, it is too much, I want to leave. He will not be allowed to go because he knows too much. Krishna consciousness is like that in good sense. If we have heard Krishna Katha and we have chanted the names of the Lord and we think, oh, now, theek hai, abhi ho gaya, I want to go back. I want to see the world, I'll come back later. You cannot enjoy this world. That's the good thing of Krishna consciousness. Krishna will not allow us to go. Krishna is more eager to keep us in bhakti than we are eager to stay, because Manushyanam Sahasreshu, some people come, out of thousands of men, few come to Krishna consciousness. So Krishna is really, joyful, and he is working very, very hard to keep us on Krishna on the path of bhakti. So therefore, we have to do only one thing: relish the joy of Krishna consciousness, become like a swan, just like a swan, tastes the soft lotus stem. Devotee should become like swan, tasting the nectarine Krishna Katha. Krishna Lila Amrita Sar Tara Shata Shatadhar Dasha Dike Bahe Yaha Hoite Sai Chaitanya Lila Hoye Sarovar Akshay Manohamsa Charah Tahate. Krishna Lila is nectar, Amrit. Hundreds of rivers are flowing in all 10 directions. Tara Shata Shatadhar Dasha Dike Bahe, all 10 directions. Chaitanya Leela is another inexhaustible reservoir of nectar. Oh devotees, Kaviraj Goswami is telling, oh devotees, become like swan. Make your mind like a swan and relish this nectar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes are so beautiful, so relishable. And if we just read those pastimes, just reading the verses of Chaitanya Charitamrita is so nectarian. Even if we don't understand it, please read. Eva nahi buje keha shunite seha ki adbhuta Chaitanya Charita. Krishna upaji be priti jani be rasera riti shuni lei bada hoye hita. Kaviraj Goswami says, even if you don't understand, please read. Continue reading. Eva nahi buje, even if you don't understand. Shunite seha, please continue reading, continue hearing. Ki adbhuta Chaitanya Charita. Pastimes of Lord Chaitanya are amazing and wonderful. What will happen? Krishna upajibe priti, you will experience attraction for Krishna. You will relish the mellows of bhakti. Shunilei bada hoye hita. It is beneficial for you. Please hear. So therefore, bhakti is all about good experiences. Bhakti, para-ish anubhava, and virakti. This verse comes in the 11th canto. Bhakti paresha anubhavo virakti anyatra chaisha trika eka kalaha prapadyamanasya yathashnatasyu tushti pushti kshutapayo nughasam. Just like when we eat prasad, with every morsel, three things happen. Tushti, we get satisfied. Pushti, we get nourished. Shutapayo nughasam, our hunger decreases gradually. Similarly, when we practice bhakti, three things happen. We experience Krishna, para ish anubhava. We become more attached to the process of devotion, and we get detached from the world, virakti. So that's how, we have to keep on accumulating good experience. Of course, some painful experiences will also come in Krishna consciousness. Sometimes we will be mistreated. Sometimes we will not get what we want. That is how life is, Sometimes we will get pleasure. Sometimes we will get pains in Krishna consciousness. But our job is to keep on gathering good experiences. When we experience and we remember those experiences, we stay in Krishna consciousness. And then sharing is very important. Speak Krishna Katha, speak your experiences. That is realization, right? Because when we preach, we don't share information. That is just a part of our preaching activities. Preaching means sharing our realizations, sharing what we experience in Krishna consciousness. That is what we have to share with others. For that, we have to remember our experiences. For that, we have to write it down or whatever way. So that is how we have to, keep practicing Krishna consciousness. And I would like to stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this very, very, very beautiful class. Yeah, it really opens our faith in the process and how that Krishna will not leave us even if we leave. That is really encouraging, Prabhuji, so much. Hare Krishna. Megha Mataji, you can ask your question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Sorry, I couldn't unmute, but I just was able to now. So thank you. Thank you for such a wonderful class, Prabhuji. Every time your classes are just really, really amazing. So really, keep on giving us your association. So many different points that you've, mentioned in today's class. One thing I wanted to really ask about is, you said, when we come to Krishna consciousness, these, Krishna Graha will not, he takes over all the other grahas, right? So there's, none of the other grahas have that impact. So, when someone is trying to have this strong surrender to Krishna in this manner, and then they get told sometimes that, that by some senior devotee maybe saying that, you still, we still are, sadhakas, right? We're still struggling sadhakas, right? So we're not at that point of where, all this is going to be there for us. So how do we take this? Because, for example, just an example I have is, one of the devotee was not really believing in this Vastu kind of things, because thinking having the understanding of Prabhupada's books, that he didn't, really look into the Vastu, because where Krishna is, nothing really, everything, is taken over by Krishna. But at the same time, because they're still practicing sadhakas, they were informed that, it is, you're not, you can't be, I guess, it's kind of like crazy to think that you are surrendered and you are in the same place as Prabhupada. We still would be bounded by the vastus and the karmas and everything, because we're still practicing. So how do come out of this discrepancy? Because we understand that there is this, we're still practicing and we try to follow what Prabhupada is saying, and Krishna is taking over karma and all this, but yet, they still do exist. So how to come to a conclusion?
Okay, Mataji. So let me just paraphrase whatever you said so that you can tell me if I understood your question.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you're asking that ultimately we have to surrender to Krishna, and all our endeavors should be only for this purpose. But there are some things which are mentioned in scriptures like Vastu and other things like astrology. So many other things are there. So how much importance we should give to those things, right? That's the question.
Well, not just how much importance, if someone is really trying to follow Prabhupada's directions, and then yet there's also in Vedas, there is this part of Veda, astrology and Vastus and all those things. So where's the line that, if you're really trying to surrender to Krishna, at the same time?
Yeah. Okay. So where to draw a line that now I have to just surrender to Krishna and I don't want to, take help of any of these things. So basically, these are bona fide sciences mentioned in the scriptures, and they should be used only if it is favorable for our practice of Krishna consciousness. Whatever we do in our life, we should always keep this principle in mind. Anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam. If by doing all these things, our faith in Krishna is becoming less, And if we are depending on these things more, then it is detrimental for our practice of bhakti. Because ultimately, all these are mentioned in the Vedas, and Vedas, they are having many karma kandiya sections also. But we as practitioners of Krishna consciousness, we should have this one principle very clear. Anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam. Anything which is favorable, I will do it. Just basic thing. If somebody says, okay, if you just make your home in this way, it will help you to practice bhakti better. And if it is not too much of an endeavor for me, either to keep in the east or west, okay, if east is okay, what is the problem in doing it? I am not putting faith in all these things more than in Krishna, but just that, it is a way of life, it is a way of living. Just like if we have to chant, and if we are chanting in the middle of the street, then it will not be favorable for us. So we are not pure devotees, purified souls, that any condition we can be completely Krishna consciousness. At least I can speak about myself. So we have to just find out ways where we can be Krishna conscious the most. And if something is happening, something is there which is assisting me, I'll take that, but if it is said, no, you worship these devatas, that we should not do. Because Krishna is very strongly saying in scriptures, bhakti scriptures, nectar of devotion very clearly describes it. Devotees of Krishna, they don't have to worship any devatas. We give respect to them. If we are concerned about some of the influences, we have Narasimhadev with us. He is the controller of all the planets. All the Navagrahas, they are actually worshipping Narasimhadev. So therefore we have the highest protection available. So we should always take shelter of the Supreme Lord. And some things which are favorable for our practice of bhakti, there is no problem doing it. Just another thing is about Shraddha. Should we do or should we not do? If a devotee is doing Shraddha thinking that if I'll not do this, it will hamper my bhakti, then it is not good. But if he is doing it thinking that if I'll not do this, all my family members and my society people, they will bother me so much. So let me do it. That's what Bharat Maharaj was doing it. Bharat Maharaj, it comes in the 5th canto. He was doing all these, yagya for Indra, Chandra, and he was, in every yagya, he was saying, Indra is a limb of Krishna. He's the eye, he's a hand, some various devatas. So if we are not putting faith in these devatas, then whatever we do, it will not affect us. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ashraddhaya hutam dattam tapas taptam kritam chayat asad ityuchyate partha nacha tat pretya no iha. This is 17th chapter, last verse. Ashraddhaya, without faith, if we do anything, it will not, give result. Our faith should only be in the process of Krishna consciousness. And if some things are troubling us, bothering us, if I'll not do this, my family members will trouble me, my society will trouble me. Okay, do it. Anyways, I don't have faith. I don't, depend on this for my bhakti. I am doing it just so that they are satisfied and they allow me to do my bhakti properly. So that is the whole, understanding. That is a foundation. And then the details are many, So that is what I can say. If anybody would like to add anything, please do it. Please. So I hope this is a little bit of answer your questions, Mataji.
Yeah, yes, Prabhu, it does happen. One more thing in connection to that is like, sometimes we feel that, if a senior devotee is informing us of this, we also find it as like a what do you call that? The person who's being told, right? The devotee who's being told this, they might also take it as the message of Krishna. So, there's just so much of this, convolution where one person is trying to surrender to Prabhupada and Krishna, and then at the same time, Krishna's senior devotee is informing this devotee that you should, believe these things because it will help you with your health. And I can relate that, maybe for example, south facing door is going to have lots of negative energy for you and your health and everything. So I can understand that might impede me from performing bhakti. So even though if I don't believe in these things because of this, Prabhupada's, I get told this part from a senior devotee, what would be my response?
Mataji, the basic principle remains the same. You know, if somebody tells you please change the direction of your door, it'll help you. If it is, if by doing that, it is not disturbing your daily activities and it is not disturbing your process of devotional service, if it is not prayas, the principle atyahara and prayas. So okay, take if he's telling me and I'll do it anyways. I'm not spending so much of my time because just imagine if I have only 2 hours and I have to chant my rounds, and if somebody says nay, if you change the direction of your door and it will be good for your bhakti, and you spend 1 hour doing that, and what is the purpose? Purpose is defeated, right? So the basic principle is we have to always understand, will it hamper, will it help me? My basic practices should never be compromised. And of course, these principles, these things, they have effects because these are bona fide sciences mentioned in the scriptures. But we are, practicing Krishna consciousness bhakti. And bhakti is the most powerful, path. It can overrule all the other jnana, karma, ashtanga, and everything, all the yajna, dana, tapa, karma, all these things. So it all depends on how faithful we are, because if we are not faithful to the process of bhakti and if we depend on other things more, what are we doing? We are, decreasing our faith in Krishna consciousness. So our baseline should be, I want to increase my faith in Krishna consciousness. I don't want to depend on other limbs of Vedas, thinking that they are also bona fide, I'll do that. But our whole process is to increase our faith in Krishna consciousness. And that should be our priority as a Gaudiya Vaishnava, That is the understanding which I can, tell.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, everybody. That's definitely helpful. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Mataji.
Prabhuji, I have 5 questions.
5 questions. Do we have time? Okay. Yes, Mataji, you can ask one by one.
Yeah. Prabhuji, you said that the experiences is nothing but when we follow the Shastras, we have to apply that Shastras in our life, so that then we will get the realizations, right? So my question is, when we do chanting, at that time, we have one goal, right? Our main goal is like we should have that strong faith that Krishna and the name of Krishna is same. I mean, that potency of Krishna's energy, or Lord Krishna's potency is equivalent to the Nam potency, right? So we try every day for this, because Shastras are saying only once that we have to chant, but in reality we have to chant for the throughout life to get that realization. So we are making one effort. So in what sort of that mercy will come to get that realization? How is the mercy into this picture? Means how I'll get that mercy, that one particular mercy, to understand that this is the strong faith that I want and Krishna will give. So what I should do for that mercy?
Mataji, our job is to practice Navavidha Bhakti. How mercy will come, when it will come, that is not our job to think. as devotees, we should only be focused on, we speak this verse many times, karmanyeva adhikaraste. That applies to bhakti also. If we are practicing bhakti with the intention that when will I develop taste, when will I realize Krishna, our whole endeavor is to get the result. But the process of bhakti is such that the means and the end is same. So the path of bhakti means we have to relish the sadhana bhakti, that is same as the end. To get purified of the anarthas, to get taste, that is Krishna's job. We don't have to worry so much about that. Whenever Krishna sees our sincere, intense endeavors, he will give bhakti, he'll give taste, he'll give ruchi, he'll give asakti, bhava, prem. That is all awarded. What is in our hand, that we should do. We should not become, a person who is just goal-oriented. Of course, our goal should be that I want to purify myself, but not every endeavor we do, we judge. Will it help me? Will Krishna give me pure devotional service if I do that? That is not our job. We have to just be focused on our, Shramanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, all these things. Our seva, sadhana, swadhyaya, sadachar, and swasthya. These are the 5 limbs, 5 things we have to take care of. And when Krishna will give mercy, that only Krishna knows. Nobody else knows. So don't worry about that. Krishna is more eager to give mercy than we are eager to take it. We have to just be consistent. Krishna likes to see a consistent devotee, not a devotee who is just like flashes of light. So that's what we should be. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji, so 2 questions are gone because of your answer, because I had the following questions. Prabhuji, next question is, you mentioned about 3 prathanas, right? So in which book that comes? Where could you please locate that?
That is there in Nectar of Devotion. In Nectar of Devotion, there are 64 limbs of devotion. In that, there is one section of offering prayers. In that, you will find it. Some Prarthanatmika, Danya Bodhika, and Lal Samai Prarthana. Okay.
Prabhuji, the next question is about you said that there will be a stage in chanting. It will be a spontaneous chanting. So what exactly it is? Could you please mention what exactly that is? It means how it is for the devotion. What exactly that's the spontaneous chanting you said, right?
See, I said 3 stages. One is I have to chant. Then I want to chant. Then I like to chant.
Yes.
So I like to chant means nobody has to tell me, and I am not, doing it out of compulsion. I like to chant. So therefore I am chanting. That is a stage of, ruchi. Ruchi means when you actually develop taste for Krishna. And wonderful fact is, unless you reach the stage of, even at the stage of nishtha, after anartha nivritti gets over and the person is at the stage of nishtha, still that devotee doesn't have ruchi for the names of the Lord. He has unflinching faith. Nishtha is there, but the ruchi has not come yet. He has experienced Krishna a little bit, but still ruchi is not there. So how he continues? Just faith on scriptures, faith on acharyas. That is the process of sadhana bhakti. So spontaneous devotion means raganuga or asakti, bhava, prem. That is the very high stage. We have to just be focused on at least doing namabhas chanting. When there is namaprad, namabhas and shuddhanam, by our own endeavor, we can at least reach the stage of namabhas. Namabhas means where we avoid the offenses, and that is an everyday endeavor. Not that aaj namabhas chanting ho gaya to kal bhi ho jayega. No, everyday endeavor. like that. Okay.
Prabhuji, last question is, you mentioned about preaching, right? And you told that when one is preaching, he actually preaches the experience. But what exactly happened with us is, when we experience Krishna is exactly at the times of the toughest phase of our life, and it becomes very personal. So we hesitate to share our realization. I have also experienced that many of the devotees doesn't come to that experience sharing sort of
Don't have to
bond.
share the exact details of our experience, but all of us, when we go through challenges in our life, we learn lessons. We understand how to practice Krishna consciousness. That we have to share, because we don't have to share the exact problems I went through and then I got this realization. No, that is not the question. We have to just share what inspired us. And I went through this phase. I learned this. I understood that this is what I should learn from this instance. That is what Krishna taught me through this. This is how we have to share the experience, not the details of what we went through. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. But everything comes to a problem in Krishna, means everything comes to chanting, everything comes to devotional service, prasadam, association. So anything happens to our Krishna consciousness, anything happens to our problems, the end solution comes to there only, because somewhere we go wrong in our process, right? We understand that, okay, this might be my attitude, or this might be my wrongdoings towards my intentions towards doing the devotional service, or the interaction or the behavior with the devotees. So everything underlines to these things only, which are the main limbs of our devotion. So I just drawn that conclusion.
Yes, correct, Mati. Thank you for your
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Danvat pranam to you.
Danvat. Balram Prasad Prabhu, you have a question?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Danvat pranam, Prabhuji. Thank you for this class. You shared about the experiences, and it was really, I was thinking few things. There is also a bad experience and a good experience. You also mentioned that. And one I was thinking about is we have definitely bad experiences also, even in the moment where it's not in the moment. We associate with the people, and we have sort of mistreated and so on and so forth. And sometimes it hurts. So what is the, I know we have to be patient, etc. And then we have to continue in Krishna consciousness. But dealings with others is definitely, if it hurts, sometimes people get out of it. And it's definitely hurts, Prabhu. So what do you want us to do in that way? We'll continue our devotional service, but if it's something pain in the heart, it's tough to think about. We cannot chant Hare Krishna properly.
Yeah. In those situations, we should always, and not in just those situations, in every situation of our Krishna consciousness, we should have some devotees who are very close to us, and we can share our heart with them. Guhyam Akhyati Prachati is the most important part of sustaining in Krishna consciousness, because that is the experience of every person. When we share our heart, our pain decreases. So if we have no one to share our pains with, if we have no genuine friend in Krishna consciousness, then it is a very dangerous situation. If we are just having seniors and juniors and no equals, it is not sustainable, way, because we should associate with equals more, with our friends more, and less with our seniors and juniors. It is said that 60% we should be with our equals, because they know us in and out. and 20% with seniors, 20% with juniors. Because in both ways, our false ego is satisfied, When we are with seniors, we give respect to them and they give their blessings. Our ego is satisfied. And when we are with juniors, we give them our guidance, our, we guide them, and then they also respect us. Our ego is satisfied. But the most, the greatest purification happens when we are with equals. They know us. So therefore, we have to share our hearts with our friends, and of course, with our seniors also. Because that when we share our heart, Krishna sees that this person has become humble. Because after spending few years in Krishna consciousness, we think now I have become a senior devotee. How can I tell others that I have this problem? I have gone through this. This person did this to me. When we humble ourselves and speak our problems to others, we will develop the strength to tolerate them. So that is how the Krishna consciousness works. We have to be, susceptible to the corrections. We should not build walls around ourselves so that nobody can tell anything to us. We should not pose ourselves as such a big devotee that nobody can approach us, or we cannot approach anyone. That should not happen. So of course, painful situations will come in Krishna consciousness. We should have some dear well-wishers who can support us in those situations. Otherwise, we will miss this very important path of bhakti. Because when devotees, when they are hurt, they go away from devotionals, they go away from the circle of devotees, and then after some time they lose their enthusiasm to practice, and then they give up. So we have to be really careful that we want Krishna, and because we are in association of people who may not be pure devotees. Most of the devotees are sadhakas. They will have their conditionings, they will have their anarthas, and based on that they perceive the world, and based on that they respond and react. So we should always understand this, that what do I want? Do I want to get affected by their reactions and disturb my mind, disturb my practice of bhakti? So that is the question we should always ask. Okay, they have troubled me, they have hurt me a lot, but I want to connect to Krishna. What will happen to them, that is between them and Krishna. But I don't want to give up the practice of bhakti. I don't want to become lax in my Krishna consciousness. So devotee means always contemplating about why I am doing it and what response should I give so that I can come close to Krishna. So that is how devotional service means, always on guard, always alert. Otherwise we'll cut ourselves. As it is a shurasya dhara nishita duratya durgam patastat kavayo vadanti. It is a very risky path. Because if we are not careful, we'll destroy ourselves. Because our anarthas are there and others' anarthas are there. So we have to always be on guard. I can focus on what I can, say.
I think you also brought a good point, that ego. So the most of the things are within us only. That's the ego is the one which is causing us thinking that it's mistreated. But then maybe the other person is not even mistreated you. That's also there. Correct, Prabhu?
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji. There's a question. Sometimes there's guilt that a person have not endeavored or given time for dharma, but only to bhajan and katha. What is the solution? What should be given more time and energy for dharma? Dharma means to fulfill grihastha, ashrama, desire of home or child, or etc. Okay. So how much we should involve ourselves in our household duties, and how much should we practice bhakti? We have to understand that they are not two exclusive sets. Just like in the mathematics, pada rahega na, we must have read there is a universal set, there is a subset, there are disjoint sets, there are intersecting sets. So is Grihastha Dharma and Bhakti, they are disjoint sets? No, it is not like that. They are intersecting sets. We have to find where is the intersection. So we have to understand that, okay, my Grihastha life should be molded around Krishna consciousness. And we should not become irresponsible in the name of Bhakti. I'll give an example. One of our very senior devotees, that Mataji was giving a Vyas Puja offering to Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and she was telling that, Maharaj, you saved my relationship with my son. And she was saying that, when she was young, now she's a elderly lady, but when she was young in Krishna consciousness and given birth to a son, and son was like 1 or 2 years old, and this Mataji was coming every day to temple for services, DT services, DT kitchen. So Maharaj once asked her that, are you taking care of your son nicely? So she said, Maharaj, I have my services in DT kitchen. So I just I have, kept one maid. She takes care of my son. So Radhanath Swami Maharaj said that from today onwards, your son is your DT. You don't have to come to temple to be in the DT kitchen. Please take care of your son nicely. And later, she was saying, because of this one instruction, my relationship with my son was saved. Because otherwise, if we neglect our family responsibilities in the name of practicing Krishna consciousness, later the child will say, Krishna came in between my mother and me. The child will never take to Krishna consciousness. So therefore, we have to do the needful, take care of our family responsibilities, and then practice Krishna consciousness to the best of our capacity and keep praying to Krishna. If we pray to Krishna, Krishna will give us the intelligence how to, render bhakti with, intensity. So that is very, very important, to understand. It is all about balancing. It is all a mature practice of Krishna consciousness. We are not here, spiritual life doesn't mean being irresponsible. Detachment doesn't mean irresponsible. And attachment and, doesn't mean, responsibility. Taking responsibility doesn't mean I'm attached to these things. No, become like, all the great kings all of the past. They were doing their duties, but their mind was always in Krishna. Just like gopis, what were they doing? Yadohane vahanane mathanopalepa prenkhen khanar bharudito ksanamarjanado gayanti chainamanurakta dhiyo ashru kanthyo dhanya vrajastriya urukrama chittayana. Whatever they were doing, while milking cows, threshing grains, taking care of the children, swinging on the swing, smearing cow dung on the wall, whatever. Chitta, urukrama chitta yanaha, always thinking of Krishna. So therefore, we have to pray to Krishna to give us intelligence to practice bhakti. Krishna says, I give intelligence. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. Problem is we don't pray to Krishna enough. We depend on our own intelligence. We don't depend on Krishna's intelligence. We should pray to Krishna. And for sure, Krishna will show us the way. It will happen for sure. It's like that. Okay. Hare Krishna. So I think.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, can I ask you one question?
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, you just said that we should depend on Krishna's intelligence and we should not use or depend on our intelligence, which is limited. So our praying should be in such a way that we depend on Krishna's intelligence, but we ask for the strength to go with the flow and accept the suffering. Is that understanding correct, Prabhuji?
Yes. Whatever intelligence we have, we should use it in Krishna's service and pray to Krishna to give us the intelligence to serve better. That is depending on Krishna's intelligence. You know, many times we we tell Krishna, I know you are omnipotent and omniscient, and I have my list ready. I have made my plans. You just sanction them because you are omnipotent. Don't use your intelligence. So we have to just pray to Krishna, so that, oh Krishna, you desire, you know the best. So you make a plan for my life, that this is how I have planned as per my limited intelligence. So now you please, guide me. How should I go ahead with that? So if I am wrong or right, Krishna will guide, Krishna will show, Krishna will send somebody to guide us in the right way. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Eternally grateful to you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I think we can stop here now.
Thank you, Prabhuji. But there is one question in chat asking for reference that Krishna has the food, but he doesn't reduce. So where is the reference? Like he just has with the eyes like that.
It is there in the question?
Yes,
Chat?
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhuji.
What is the question exactly?
Question mark, like Krishna is asking, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I wanted to ask how to explain to someone that says you offer prasad, but it's not like it gets eaten, then why offer? Like boga. Offer boga, but it...
I wanted to ask how to explain to someone that says you offer prasad, but it's not like it gets eaten, then why offer? Hare Krishna eats na angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimanti. Krishna eats through his eyes. He eats it. It is not that he has to eat like we eat. He eats it. He can eat with his eyes also. All his organs, they perform the actions of every other organ. So it doesn't have to eat like we eat, So therefore, whenever we offer bhoga to the Lord, Lord eats it. And actually, Lord is not so much concerned with the ingredients. He is concerned with the mood. He is concerned with devotion. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachti. What is this patra? One devotee was explaining that. One acharya writes that patra means when we fold our hands in front of the Lord, the leaf of hands Krishna wants. Pushpa, Lord wants to offer the flower-like heart, wants us to offer that. Phala, Krishna wants us to offer all the results of our work. Toyam, Krishna wants to see the tears in our eyes. That is the water which he wants. So Krishna is pleased only with bhaktya prayachati. Bhakti hoga, so then Krishna will accept it. So Krishna can accept whatever we are offering with his eyes. He doesn't have to eat like we eat. Okay.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. So there are no questions. Then we can end here. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you
very much. Hare Krishna.
Sindhuveyo Tithanamyo Vaishnaveyo Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jai Prabhupada ki jai. Prabhu ji ki jai. Jai.
Thank you for such a beautiful prayer, Prabhuji.
Gauranga.
Gauranga.